It's the morning of our trip to Ghana. We're getting ready to go to the airport. We decided to stay at a hotel overnight because our flight is quite early this morning. So we're getting ready now so that we can make it there in good time without any rushing. So this is what I'm wearing to the airport. It's an off-white twin set. I got this on Amazon, really comfy and cool. And I'm also wearing some trainers that are sort of in a light cream ivory color. Terminal. We're going to our gate finally. It's been absolutely heaving at the airport this morning. We're flying with British Airways, so yeah, looking forward to a good flight. This might be our plane. We're getting ready for takeoff. Up and away. So we are here, we're in Ghana, we're in our transport to our accommodation right now. It was really chaotic getting our SIM card and getting some Ghanaian money at the airport before we left, but we finally got through after a 6.5-hour flight. I am so tired, but I am so excited to be here. This trip is going to be awesome. So we've arrived at our apartment and They're absolutely gorgeous. We're staying in a 3-bed apartment in the Cantonments area of Ghana, which is a really nice area. All the rooms have ensuite. This is one of the bathrooms here. And this is the kitchen, dining, living area, open plan area. Really nicely done. With a large screen TV, and all the rooms have their own TV as well. This is the kitchenette area. Really nice. Out here, and a balcony. This is the night view. Really nice. So this is our first morning in Accra, Ghana. I'm just looking out from my view from my room. It's very leafy, lots of buildings. This is the Cantonments area where all the embassies are, I believe. This is the view from the balcony. It's very leafy, lots of building work. We're in the taxi. We're on our way to try and catch the tour bus that takes you around some of the city sites. One thing you need to get used to in Ghana is traffic. Traffic everywhere, lots of cars, etc. But Uber and Bolt works really well in Ghana, so it is quite reliable. But if you have a big group that you want to travel more than 3 or 4 of you, then yeah, you might need to consider hiring a car to get around. But Uber and Bolt was by and large quite reliable. You do pay cash, so sometimes depending on traffic, etc., the Uber might not show, but it was pretty good. So after waiting a couple of hours, we understand the tour bus isn't working today. There's a strike. So I called somebody local and we hired a car because there was 6 of us actually on this trip. And it's easier to get around than taking separate Ubers. So we're heading back, try and maybe look for some food, some to keep us going and change some money to cedis. We're at the local supermarket to pick up some supplies. We wanted to pick up some snacks and things for breakfast, etc., because we plan to eat most of the evenings dining out. So we're walking around the supermarket now. Lots of fruit and vegetables, etc. Really nicely stocked, nicely laid out, and quite reasonably priced actually. So here we're trying some snacks that this lady is selling, some plantain that you can put in the oven. It's like pre-fried, so you could just put it in the oven like you would do chips. Quite nice actually.
And it's going for 20 cedis a pound. What are you going for? 20 cedis a pound. For the plantain, and the potato is going for 39 cedis.
And it comes in a packet?
Yes.
It's like fried plantain. One thing I stocked up on while we were here, and the kids absolutely love it, and you'll see it advertised everywhere, is Indomie noodles. Really great for a quick snack. You can grab and go. It's really quick and easy to prepare, but it's really popular here. So yeah, I would totally recommend Indomie noodles. Is my beef shawarma.
Even the garlic bread is quite nice, trust me.
Delicious.
They really prepare the thing.
The portions are so good.
Huh?
The portions are huge.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you buy garlic bread home and you get a little of 4 big bits like this.
Well, you taste the salad.
Let me get a picture of his beef.
Yeah.
after our meal at Frankies, which was absolutely amazing, we decided to walk down Oxford Street in Osu. And apparently Oxford Street is the place to be. This is where everybody is. There's lots of cars, there's lots of people around, there's people selling in stalls or selling on the street. It's a real bustling area that everybody is hanging out at. Apparently Oxford Street never sleeps in Accra, Ghana. So anything that's happening around Ghana, if you head to Oxford Street, there's a lot of vibe on Oxford Street. So we walked up and down, checked out the sights and the sounds, etc. Bought some beads as well. So yeah, it was really cool.
No food for lazy man.
Exactly.
So that's why you have to push him.
You have to push, yes.
That's why this boy is pushing with our energy. So this one, in Ghana we don't have the fish price, we do the bargaining.
It's the next morning. I've been doing some journaling of the past day and time to get ready for another full-on day. So after checking out the Black Star of Africa, we walked over the road to Independence Square. It's really windy out here, but we checked out the monuments. It's a huge space. A lot of national events and things take place here. And there's street sellers as well around trying to sell you their wares, sunglasses, bags, fans, anything you name it. They were quite polite. They will ask you to buy, but you don't have to. They just walk away if you say you don't need anything. chairs and
Yes, we sell food and drinks.
yeah.
So later we sell lobster shrimps and chicken.
Okay, so the different color umbrellas for the different bars. I see.
So if you see over there, you want to swing, they'll bring you down here.
Okay. So it goes, you can walk either way. Okay. Okay, it's not very busy today.
It's
It's gonna be later. So it's like all night into the evening as well.
the next morning.
Ah, okay. Not right now, maybe later. Maybe later, yeah. We just are. Sorry? Just a bit.
Reason.
It's the next day and we are up bright and early because we have a full day. We're going to Cape Coast Castle and Catcomb Canopy Walk today, but we need to have an early start because it's a 2 to 3 hour drive out. We had to cut short our Labadi Beach trip yesterday because again we had an early night, early morning this morning. So this is us waiting for our ride to take us out to Cape Coast. We're expecting quite a bit of traffic, so we want to beat the traffic driving out there.
are going to Castle.
Good morning.
Alright, so you pay here.
Okay.
For the adults, 80 cities.
Okay.
The students, 30 cities. High school, 30 cities. And then lower level primary children, 30 cities. Alright, so you can go out and take pictures. And tour will start in the next 15 minutes. So you can walk out and take pictures already.
Yeah, I left it in the car.
This out, guys.
This one is where I go down.
Look at that. Someone is going down, a female is going down the mayor's slave dungeon. Now, how inhumane is this? A short period of time. Right? Let me just move. Let me make the thing aware.
For the day. But watch your steps. But I prefer calling it a dungeon to a castle because it is more of a dungeon than a castle. But these structures have been called our castles and forts for a very long period of time, and we cannot change that overnight. So maybe I'll be using both castles and forts or dungeons, and pardon me for that. My name is Pa Kwesi Obey. You can call me Kwesi because I was born on Sunday. So today is my day, right? And I'll be with you for the next 1 hour as your guide. You are free to ask questions and take some pictures. But before we start walking, I will give a brief background history about the dungeons, the forts and the castles, and transatlantic or European slave trade. Again, I want to call it European slave trade because this was not perpetrated by the Atlantic Ocean, rather by the Europeans. But for them not to be blamed, they said we should call it transatlantic, as if it was done by the Atlantic Ocean. The Europeans came to West Africa and did not rest at all because they built about 60 dungeons in West Africa. Out of the 60, Ghana had about 40, all because of our gold, the coasts, and the people. So it was not surprising that they named our coast Gold Coast. Our neighboring coast was named Ivory Coast. The coast of present day, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, was named Slave Coast. So as they were getting a lot of gold from here, they were getting a lot of ivory from our west and a lot of enslaved people from the east coast. But out of the 40, we now have about 22 existing, 19 forts, 3 castles. So together, 22 dungeons in Ghana. First dungeon built in Ghana is the one in Elmina, St. George's de Stelo de Mina. Portuguese built Elmina dungeon in the year 1482. 1482. Being the oldest, the largest, the biggest dungeon in the country. It happens to be the oldest European structure outside entire Europe. 542 years old. Second one is in Accra, Christiansborg, Denmark, built Christiansborg. We normally call it Osu Castle in the year 1661. This is the youngest, the third, the last dungeon, Cape Coast, built by the British. This is English. 1665. 359 years old. Very old though, but the structure is still strong. Surprisingly, the original structure like inside here has no cement, no annual bars. Any cement mortar you see here is what we use to restore the edifice. They used burnt bricks, they brought them. Lime powder from oyster shells with oil and sand as binding material. Stones, pitch pine timber with cheap African labor, if not free. They built the dungeon. What I mean is labor was by Africans. And that should inform us that Africans contributed, built their own dungeons. and sails. After they were killed, they were held. Most of these facilities were slave posts. What I mean is, the Europeans bought, they had enslaved Africans, held them in the various dungeons, brought ships, loaded them, sent most of them to the Americas, the Caribbean, or the West Indies, few to Europe to work, develop their countries. And some of the people, Africans, who became victims were people the Europeans themselves raided or kidnapped. What I mean is, they could set a whole village on fire, and as the people around in helter-skelter for their lives, they raided for the young ones. You could be working on your farm with your husband, your son, your brother, your friend, or even your sister. You look back and he or she is gone. Sometimes they used deceit. Let's go to our home countries. We will give you better lives. They ended up working for them. Let's go inside our ships and have fun. The local people understood free-mindedly. Africans are very hospitable, especially Ghanaians. They packed their drums, went with them. Then these guys of enjoyment, they gave them a lot of alcohol, chained and shackled them. The time they realized they were on the high seas. Now listen to this. Sadly, there were some instances where some of our own African chiefs, traditional rulers, prominent personalities, brought some people and sold. But they were not selling their brothers, their sisters, their children, as some people sometimes want us to believe. Most of the people they brought were rather some of their prisoners of war, people who were captured during warfare. I believe most of us here are aware that there was no Ghana, there was no Togo, no Nigeria, no Burkina Faso and others. Africa was one big continent without political boundaries. Partition of Africa took place around 1884, 1885. When all the European countries then, with the exception of Switzerland, met with the United States in Germany in what they termed the Berlin Conference and demarcated, shared the continent of Africa to themselves. They put Africa on a table like a piece of cake and shared among themselves. Sadly, Africans were not part of the conference, and we as Africans, excuse me to use this word, shamefully holding on to these boundary things they made for us. Now, when you go to Ghana and Togo border, there are some people who live at the Ghana part. They cross the border to Togo to work. They come back to Ghana to sleep. They speak same language. They bear same names. They eat same food. Meaning, they were once part of us. But because of Berlin Conference, they call themselves Togolese, and we call ourselves Ghanaians. Africa is made of states, kingdoms, empires, ethnic groups, tribes, as we still have. They all wanted to expand, enlarge their territories, fighting among themselves. Those who were defeated, instead of them to be killed by the victors rather captured them and sold some out for gunpowder. I said what? They were fighting, meaning there was a gap, right? Africans were not that united then. The Europeans took advantage of that. Sadly, we are still not united, and they are also still taking advantage. Wherever they got them, mainly from West Africa, they walked them in chains and shackles. Some died on the way, because imagine walking from Kumasi to Cape Coast, over 200 kilometers. Tamale is about 600. Relatively, Kumasi, Tamale is not far, because others came from present-day Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, Guinea, and they were all brought to the coast, because that is where they built their dungeons. Those who made it, who survived the long journeys, when they brought them to Cape Coast, some were taken upstairs. There's a big hall upstairs called Palaver Hall. Palaver Hall was the auction block. There were European doctors and nurses there to examine the enslaved Africans from head to toe to determine their strength. After, they were not even sold out for money. They were exchanged for guns, gunpowders, mirrors, fabrics, liquor, alcohol, tobacco, knives, sugar, and others, according to their strength. Meaning Africans were reduced low to the level of commodity like mirror, like tobacco. After the auction, they brought them downstairs, branded them. They burnt marks on them for easy identification before they were pushed into the dungeons. They were in the dungeons for a few days, to about 3 solid months, waiting for the ships to come take them to where? North America, South America, the Caribbean, or the West Indies, like Brazil. I'm mentioning Brazil first because Brazil received the highest number. About 46% of entire enslaved African population was sent to Brazil by the Portuguese. That is why it's in the whole world. Brazil is the second country after Nigeria with the highest number of black people. There are over 100 million black people in Brazil. Ghana is just about 32, 33 million. So the population of Ghana, Togo, Benin put together, we cannot match black folks in Brazil. Most of them are there because of European slave trade. So to Brazil, in order, US of A, Suriname, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Antigua, Jamaica, Haiti, St. Vincent, Dominica, Bahamas, and others to work on sugarcane, tobacco, cotton, coffee plantations, rice fields and mines. Some were domestic servants. Few were sent to Europe, like Britain, to do construction works mainly. And in the dungeons, the castles, they were separated, men from women. So Cape Coast is the male dungeon. Female dungeons are close to the door of no return, which we shall see later. But listen, right on top of this male dungeon was a church. Can you believe that? Church above the slave dungeon. So Monday through to Saturday, they had Africans, held them here. Sunday, like today, they'll be having church service above them. Due to that in Ghana, some people commonly say the ship that brought Bible, same ship took captives. First president of Kenya, Jomo Kenyatta, once said, when the missionaries arrived, Africans had land, they had Bible. They taught us how to pray with our eyes closed. When we open our eyes, they had the land, we had the Bible. And we are still having it.